In this video, we're going to have a look at the re-randomization teaching tool. So this data here is from an experiment that was done in the 60s, I think, where some babies were given an exercise program and some weren't, and the age that they first walked was recorded in months. So we can, as normal, do our dot plot of it. So we'll have our age and our treatment, and we could look at the summaries and the box plots, and we can see that all of the kids who had an exercise program walked earlier than those in the control group. Now, what we need to find out, though, is whether or not this was just by random chance. Maybe the kids that were going to walk faster already just happened to end up randomly in that exercise group. So that's what our re-randomization is doing. So I'm going to come up here to the teaching tools and click on re-randomization. So we can see up the top here, we've got our control group, which has been made red, and our exercise group, which has got blue dots. And we can see the difference between the medians is just over 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomize a group. So what I'm going to do is for each of these points, I'm going to randomly put them either into the exercise group or the control group, ensuring that we get the same proportions in each one. So we've still got 5 in our control group and 5 in our exercise group. We can see that between these two random groups, we got a difference of 1. So we've plotted that down here on our graph, and we've got a distribution of just that 1 dot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one. I'll do it a bit faster this time. Again, I'm going to work out the difference between them and plot them in our re-randomization distribution down the bottom. Now, I'm going to go through and I'm going to do that a bunch of times. So we can start by doing that slowly, and it does a couple of seconds. We're wanting to do 1,000 in total. So if I went and left at the speed, it's going to take a wee while to do. We can speed it up. So we're now going at medium speed. We can see those points are being plotted down there on the re-randomization distribution at the bottom, and I'm going to up it even faster. So now we're going really quite fast. So we need to get through about 1,000 of these. So you can see for each one of our randomized samples, we end up with a difference between the medians, and that gets plotted down the bottom. Once it finishes, on the last one, it works out the probability of getting a difference at least as big as we had in our original data. So the difference in our original data was 2.25, and we can see that that blue arrow has been drawn on here at 2.25. And then we look at the number of these 1,000 points that were that big or bigger. So we got 61 out of the 1,000 points were that big or larger, which is 6.1%. So there's a 6.1% chance that all of those babies that would have walked faster anyway ended up in that group just by random chance. If you want to run through this again, you can just press the reset, and this works with any data set that you want to do. I've done it with the babies one, which is the one from the book that I wrote a few years ago, but it does work with any data set that you want to play around with.